Right now, I'm in the coldest city on earth, where even your breath freezes over. In Yakutsk, Russia, in the middle of Siberia, all life is frozen. The temperature difference between indoors and outdoors is 80 degrees, and your phone's battery could go from 100 to 0 in an instant. It's impossible to even imagine sitting outside and eating something. Your body would freeze over, as would your food. Even the summit of Mount Everest, the world's highest mountain, frozen all throughout the year, only sits at 36 degrees below zero. But in the winters of Yakutsk, it's not uncommon to see the temperature drop below minus 50 degrees. Yet surprisingly, none of the locals seem to mind the weather. Here, 50 below zero is just another day where elementary school kids go to school, where women stand outside selling fish 12 hours a day, where tens of thousands of miners work outdoors every day. It's already become a metropolis with over 300,000 citizens. So what keeps bringing these people all the way over to Yakutsk? And how can one place be just around 30 degrees during the summer, and then be excruciatingly frigid once winter falls upon it? I decided to go to Yakutsk, the coldest city in the world, to find out the secret.
I did hear it was a big city, but the airport is much bigger and nicer than I expected.
It's way bigger than I thought. Even the airport in Irkutsk wasn't this nice. That airport was about a quarter the size of this one. It's got great facilities and it's spacious. It's a big city, alright? When I inhale too quickly, I start coughing out of nowhere. It's so cold.
It's a pretty big city, even bigger than I thought it would be.
It's 6 a.m. I'm gonna sit at the airport for a while. Then I'm gonna take the bus to my hostel. If I go now, they might not be there to open the door, so I thought it'd be better to wait here since it's open. Wow, it's so freaking cold. How do so many people live here? Milkis? Spasiba. Wow, that's expensive. 200 rubles. Lotta is everywhere. That's wild. Wasn't expecting to see Milkis here. I've only been outside for a minute or two, and my eyebrows are frozen. It's scary. It's scary how cold it is. The snow is frozen so solid that cars that drive by don't even leave a mark on the ground. Check this out. It's frozen solid. Good thing I brought an extra pair of pants to put on top of these. I'll definitely have to wear 2 layers here. Yes, my savior. Hello.
Where are you headed?
I don't speak Russian very well.
To the hotel?
Hostel Rus.
Hostel.
Hostel Rus. Wow, it really is beautiful out here though. Everything's covered in snow. It's so cold that the snow never actually melts.
It gets way colder than this around here. This is nothing.
What do you mean this is nothing? People here must take pride in their cold tolerance, like we do with spice tolerance. He's saying it's not even that cold. You can literally see how cold it is. The exhaust from cars turns into clouds as soon as it hits the air. It's almost like a smoke bomb. The hostel you're staying in is mostly for laborers in the area. Most of those people work in the mines, gold and silver miners. Oh, so it's mostly used by miners in the area. I didn't know that. Спасибо. Bye-bye. До свидания. So about 500 years ago, this city was a place of exile for criminals at the time, probably because it's so cold. So they were sent out here to freeze for the rest of their lives. But ever since they discovered gold and diamond out here, it's become such a huge city. This is the cheapest place in town, by the way. What the heck, are we inside a freezer? Good morning. Okay.
Tea,
Okay.
sugar,
Sugar, got it. This is what my room looks like. There's a guy next to me, but I hear he's checking out today. So I got this room all for myself. Let me show you the view from here. But when I open the window here, you can see the air rippling. It's about 50 degrees warmer in here than outside. Almost like a mirage. It's so pretty because the snow never melts. The land of snow. The snow on the ground doesn't melt even when people walk on it. I think I might take a little walk outside the freezer. If you dress warmly, it's not as cold as you think. I'm wearing 2 pairs of warm pants and 1 warmer, and I've got a nice thick coat on. So I'm pretty much fine except my eyes are a little cold. My ankles are a little frosty, but not so much that it bothers me. You see that shiny little sign over there? That place with the sign over there is a grocery store, so I shouldn't have any problem getting food. You know, the thing about Russia is it's got such a vast landscape, which is why people often have to find work thousands of miles away from their hometown. So they keep 1 car in each city. But that'd mean you'd be away from your car for months on end, right? That's why cars are often covered like that, to keep them from freezing and breaking down. The wealthier residents just stick them in this sort of tiny little garage, though. No snow, no freezing. I've only been out for a minute and my eyebrows are frozen. Once you leave your car outside, snow's gonna pile up on it like this. Whoa. So you have no choice but to keep them indoors or keep them covered like that. Look, there's no one in this car right now. It's just being heated up. Makes sense. It's been in the minus 50 degree weather forever. It doesn't warm up easily. Oh, there it is. This is what I was talking about earlier. The wealthier people, they just put their cars in these mini garages. You can see the tire tracks. There's a car in here. You know this guy's pretty well off. Wonder if this is a snow remover. I thought I'd wrapped my face up pretty good, but my ears are starting to hurt. Oh, they were exposed, huh? It wasn't too cold when I came out. But man, it's gotten really, really cold. I've been walking for a little less than 5 minutes right now. And it's freezing. These are all little garages where people keep their cars. Wash! My eyebrows are already frozen. I'm getting back inside in like 5 minutes. It's way colder than I thought. You know, even if you were born and raised here, I don't think you could play on this playground in the winter. The people in this city look a little bit different from stereotypical white Russians. They're not as light-skinned. They have darker skin, kind of like Southeast Asians. The reason being, they actually have summers here. In the summer, it's hot enough to wear short sleeves. It's minus 60 degrees at its coldest, but it could go up to 20-30 degrees. That's nearly a 100-degree difference. So part of it comes from the tan they get in the summer, and part of it's the brown adipose tissue in their genetics. So it's to better withstand the cold. That's just how they adapted. So the color of their skin's actually darker than you'd expect. I thought I dressed warmly enough for this climate, but it's still cold as hell. You can see the fumes from the exhaust freeze immediately, making it really foggy all around. I'm kind of surprised these trees don't die at minus 50 degrees. As far as cities go, Yakutsk is the coldest one in the world. But in terms of towns with less than 1,000 people, there is a place called Oymyakon, which is a couple hours bus ride from here. I think it's about 5 degrees colder there. If you look for places not even big enough to be called a town, I'm sure there are colder places, with just a handful of people. But as far as cities go, this one's the coldest. I think people who enjoy winter would love this place. It's got such great winter vibes. It's the middle of the day. It's right around noon. Apparently the sun rises at 10 in the morning and sets at 3 in the afternoon. So there's not much time to just walk around. It's getting hard to see. Not an easy place to get used to. I think I need to get inside for a bit. The floor's slippery anywhere you go here, so they got these carpets lining the stairs. It's to prevent falling. I don't see an elevator anywhere. Is this an old building? As expected, most stores are selling winter clothes. I can't walk around here for more than 30 minutes. I thought I was dressed for the weather, but I guess not. This is rough. It's cold, so people aren't walking around as much, and everyone is taking public transportation. It's a lot colder than I thought it would be. I think I'll call it a day and come back out tomorrow. Probably with some more clothes. I think I'll have to put on another turtleneck as well. It's a little colder than I thought it would be. It's cold, my head is freezing, my body is freezing. This is rough, man. I'm gonna go get some groceries. Not a huge selection in that store. I should do all my groceries at once next time I take a cab to go somewhere. This is what it looks like at night. I'm wearing 2 turtlenecks right now, as well as 2 layers of innerwear. As for pants, I've got 2 layers of innerwear and 2 pairs of winter pants. I've also got a t-shirt on, as well as the turtlenecks and fleece. Finally, this neck warmer and the puffer coat. Like I said before, you don't feel the cold right away. It's still bearable for a minute or 2. But after about 5 minutes, it just hits you hard. At that point, it's like a stabbing kind of cold. Even the cars don't want to come out. Check out my fit. Very uncomfortable to move around in. I'm on my way to dinner. They sell a lot of Central Asian food here, so that's what I'll be getting. I'll pick up some water and groceries on the way back as well. See if you see a local wearing a fur coat like that. That means they're doing pretty well. Meanwhile, me being the poor traveler, I'm wearing this puffer jacket. Fur's expensive here. I want to try it on to see how warm it is. I think I'd still be cold in that. Feel like the puffer holds heat better though. Either way, that's what rich people in Yakutsk wear apparently. Now that it's getting dark, you can really see how foggy it gets. It's not just today in particular, it's just always like this. You know, I've got a neck warmer covering my face and I've got gloves and everything, right? But there are people here with their faces uncovered, just walking around using their phones with their bare hands. Pretty badass. We're here. That's a lot of people. I could really use some nice hot soup. Look at this sturdy door. So freaking hot every time I'm indoors. You wouldn't think you'd sweat this much in Yakutsk. All of this costs 750 rubles. My favorite Central Asian food. Looks so good. I'm about to smash these. This is called mastaba. It tastes a lot like beef broth, just a bit saltier. It's amazing with bread. You can dip it or just throw it in. These are dumplings called booze. I tried them for the first time when I was in Kyrgyzstan. Said they were the best dumplings I've ever had in my life. Still are. Absolutely delicious. These 2 are my favorites. Just tear off a piece, dunk it right in the soup, and eat it with your spoon. Wow, I am so full. That was a great meal. Let's do some shopping and get back to the hostel. The floors are all carpeted here too, because otherwise it would be slippery city. Yeah, we're definitely in Siberia. Transport's expensive, so that's why these are so expensive. 3,001 for this. 4,000 for these gummies. The average income here is by no means higher than in Korea. Probably around 1,000,001 a month. Put that into account and it's really expensive. Yes, instant mashed potatoes. You just have to pour water in it. 2 for 1,001. Make that 3. They have cup noodles too. I'll get a shin ramyeon. Grab a dosarek too. It costs 3,501 for 1 shin ramyeon. That is really expensive. I couldn't live here for less than 10,000 a day. Shampoo seems to cost anywhere between 6,000 and 10,001. I think these are also more expensive here. The toothpaste costs 4 to 5,001 as well. This is the cheapest. This is from Korea. Refreshing toothpaste. The cheapest one is 2,001. Lots of Korean stuff. This is Korean too. This is also from Korea. So's this one. Guess they got a lot of trades going on with us. It's all Korean. So much Korean stuff. Got everything I needed. Back to the hostel. This right here, you might think it's just the ground, but it's ice, not dirt. Fun fact about Siberia. Underneath Siberia is a solid layer of ice, and it's about 2 to 1,500 meters thick. They call it permafrost. I'd say that's a pretty accurate name. It's literally ice that never melts. So there's that.
Wow.
Apparently my phone won't charge because it's too cold. Even the battery's frozen. Alright, all bundled up and ready to head out the door. Getting dressed like this might be a bit of a hassle, but it's not the worst part. See, I can't be outside all the time, but whenever I go inside a building, my back starts sweating like crazy. Because of all the clothes. That's the worst part. It's definitely uncomfortable because it's so tight, but the sweat is what really gets me. I never have to dress like this in Korea, so I'm having a hard time adjusting. I can't get enough of this view. There are 2 main reasons why it's so foggy here. Reason number 1, a lot of people leave their cars running on the streets. When the car's turned off, it can easily freeze from the frigid weather.
So what do? They leave the car running and let it idle so it doesn't freeze.
And it produces a lot of smoke. The second is that warmth from cars and buildings freezes quickly. This phenomenon is known as ice fog. The air is so cold that it freezes the instant it touches the vapors. That's why the city looks like this. My eyebrows are fine now, but in 5 minutes they'll be frozen. The camera is also not working properly because it's too cold outside. I'm looking at the screen and I can tell it's having some issues. It's getting too cold. It was fine in really hot climates, but it's not handling the cold very well. These buildings look like they've been around forever. Just look at those. Do you see how the buildings are sort of lifted a few feet off the ground? That's because if they build it right on the ground, the building could tilt over like this if the top of the ice melts. So yeah, to prevent this, they built these buildings a couple feet above the ground. Plus, if the floor was right on top of the ground, it'd get really cold. That's another reason they don't just build it right on the ground. You can tell these buildings are pretty old. They're falling apart. There's another garage right there. If we open those doors, we could probably find cars in there. One interesting thing. There aren't many countries where the water pipes are out in the open like this. Maybe it's because the ground is all ice and everything is so cold. Russia is composed of several republics. This is the Republic of Saka. Yakutsk is the capital. We're in the capital, so we don't have to worry about water being cut off or anything like that. But in the outskirts, the municipal water line isn't in its best shape. So the locals there have to dig up snow, or dig into the ground to harvest the ice or something and melt it at home. They use that as drinking water and in the shower and stuff. So even though these pipes look kind of ugly, for these people, this is a necessity to their way of living. During the Russian Empire, in the days of Stalin, the Soviet Union, they sent all the dissidents over here on exile. That's how hard it is to survive here. It was a punishment just to live here back then. But a few decades ago, they started finding a bunch of gold and diamonds here. Nearly 20% of the world's diamond production probably comes from this city. And it was during that time that people began to move here in large numbers. 300,000 is a pretty big population. Look, it freezes instantly. Turns into a cloud. I guess everyone still covers up their car even if they're not leaving it out for a long time. Maybe it's in case the doors won't open because they're frozen. Such a hassle. They have to cover their car every time they get out. So foggy, can't see anything. I can only see like 100 or 200 meters out. You'd crash the moment you try to speed here. And the roads actually are pretty slippery here. I saw some cars skidding earlier. Oh, you worked in Korea?
Uzbek.
Yes, in Russia.
Russia?
хорошо.
He used to work in Korea, apparently. He's the owner of this restaurant. Oh, why do I see so many people who worked in Korea? Feel like they're everywhere in the world. Just didn't think I'd meet one here as well. Got my shawarma. Oh. I ordered 2 of my favorite, the booze dumplings. I was gonna order the mastaba as well, but I'll have it for dinner. So it's only minus 40 degrees right now. But I hear we're gonna hit minus 50 within this week, meaning it'll get much foggier. Wow, I cannot see a thing. It's a miracle I've yet to see a car accident here. Hold on a second. Someone's actually at the playground. Okay. I thought it was just for looking. I mean, it's just so cold. But that kid's just chilling. Kids here are pretty tough, man. Crazy thing is, a lot of people walk around with no mask on. I've noticed a lot of older people walking around with no face covers, no gloves, no nothing. Their bodies must have completely adjusted to this climate. I think a lot of the younger generation use all this stuff, but not so much with the elderly. Is this a sauna or a road? Here's something this place has in common with the Arctic, which I went to last year. You can't bury people when they die here, because if you remember, we're walking on solid ice, not dirt. They say it's anywhere from 2 to 1,500 meters thick. So if you buried a body here, when summer comes around, the ice starts melting, and the bodies would float up to the surface. So you can't bury people, but what's different from the North Pole is the Arctic Council literally doesn't allow you to die there. So basically, if you were going to die, you'd have to go into Norwegian territory to do it. But fortunately, you're allowed to die where you want here. So if you die here, they'll allow you to be cremated. But just like in the Arctic, there's nowhere for your body to be buried. I feel like I've been walking forever. I don't even know where I'm going anymore. They probably don't have a lot of thieves here, though. Because it's gotta take like an hour to burgle a house. It'd take forever just to get up there. Same thing with pickpockets, right? Because they'd have to run away. But the ground here is literally all ice. They'd slip and fall. So I don't think there's a lot of pickpocketing. What a beautiful city, though. And I'm not even that big a fan of snow. Top tier aesthetics. This bench is made to be sat on, I assume. I don't feel comfortable at all. I don't think it's meant to be used in the winter. They have summers here too. Goes up to over 20 degrees. So it's probably meant for the summer. My butthole would freeze off sitting here. Oh, wait a minute. So those aren't just for when they leave cars out. See that car that's on right there? That way the car warms up quickly. So they must leave it covered like that with the heater on. That's fascinating. I can't believe this is how they start their cars. Whoa. I can't tell if this car is swaying on purpose or if it's just slipping. Cars in Yakutsk can go sideways. That's fun. The ground is frozen solid. I came all the way downtown to do some sightseeing, but I can't even see. So much for that. Guess this must be the Central Park. Guess they never have to worry about ice statues melting. They're just sitting out here. I think this is ice too. Yup. No sign of melting. All the details in the face are still there. I think I'm in the Central Park, but I only see one kid playing on the playground behind me. Everyone must have gone home. Wow, that tree is huge. Wait, is this ice too? Wow, these guys can use ice instead of bricks for everything. That's wild. That's just cost effective. I mean, it's genius. Hot as a brick. And all they need is water to make it. How did they put stuff in it, though? It's getting too cold and my phone is turning off by itself. Even when it does work, it's super stuttery. Look at the lag. All electronics go bad when you're in this city. It's way too cold. So if you leave your phone outside for a while, the battery will instantly go from 100 to 0. Because lithium batteries get drained pretty quickly in cold weather. See, this car is also running. But no driver. They just left it on. They got the heater on. Probably went into this building. So they'll be gone a couple hours. With the heater on. There's a reason this city is so foggy. This one's covered up with the heater on as well. See the fumes coming out? It's frozen. Same with the car next to it. I guess they left the car running and went to the movies. But they don't have to worry about gas money. Russia is a country with natural gas and oil. So doing this doesn't really affect their economic situation. I want to take a picture if this phone would get it together. But why are you dialing the police? Stop, stop, stop. This thing has no problem whatsoever with the heat, but it straight up doesn't work in the freezing cold. Whoa, just turned itself off. I feel like my phone is at least 20 times slower. Camera takes over 20 seconds to turn on. Even if it does turn on, it doesn't work. But I need my phone to look at the map. So let's go inside and get warmed up. There must have been a car accident. It looks like it hit a rock, but I think it actually hit some ice. Seriously, living here must be quite an adventure. I'm going to check out the biggest mall in town. It's there, but I can't see it because of the fog. It looks like something out of a horror movie. My phone was dead a minute ago, but as soon as I plug in the battery, it goes to 60%. That is just crazy. It's only 3 p.m., but the sun has already set completely. The sun rises at 10 a.m. and sets by 3 in the afternoon, so the streetlights are already lit. It's getting darker. But even when the sun sets, it just gets darker. It doesn't turn pitch black or anything. Slowly, very, very gradually. This is another square. This is the Lenin Square, I think. This building actually looks quite nice. They blocked off this area with ice to keep people from climbing over. This must save them millions. It's amazing how much they can do with water here. Wonder how much this entire wall cost. Probably worth like a few cents of water bills. For this entire humongous wall. Talk about bang for your buck. All winter long. I mean, those must be just as good as brick walls. This isn't a market. Looks like it's just one guy selling the fish he caught. Looks like one fish, or actually 1 kilo, costs around 1,700 rubles. Costs more than halibut in Korea. Climate here isn't exactly ideal for raising animals for meat. It's too cold, so they eat a lot more fish than meat here. I'm assuming this is venison? Step outside the city limits and you're in the middle of nowhere. I think he's carrying lumber. My man's got a runny nose. Amazing vibes though, huh? So aesthetic. Calling it a day and heading back. Walking around Yakutsk for a few days, I learned that as long as you're dressed warmly, the weather's actually bearable. The problem is there's about an 80-degree difference between indoors and outdoors. So I sweat a lot when I go inside after being outside. It's like summer all of a sudden. So that was a problem that I didn't foresee at all. Also, I'm not that big a fan of snow, but I love it here because everywhere you look it's like art.
Seriously, this whole city looks like something out of Frozen.
So right now, due to the war, there are no direct flights from Korea to Yakutsk. But when the war is over, it'll probably be back. So if you like snow or winter, maybe not when it's 50 below zero like right now. But I'd recommend coming when it's minus 20 or 30 degrees. It's supposed to get much colder over the weekend. It's gonna plummet below 50 degrees Celsius. Everyone I've talked to in Yakutsk say minus 30 to 40 is warm weather for them. But they say minus 50 is cold. Everyone said the exact same thing. I'm kind of excited to see how cold it will be. I'll have to see how it goes. Guess I'll find out over the weekend. That's it for my first day in Yakutsk, the coldest city in the world. The end.